Over the past year, Tesla has been facing downward pressure on profitability and margins for its Model Y and Model 3 top-selling electric vehicles. However, amidst this continued turbulence, an interesting development has finally unfolded, something that Elon Musk has been anticipating for many years and is now poised to leverage. Tesla stated last year that overall vehicle delivery growth would slow down in 2024, and they didn't even give guidance as to where they expected to land. Lo and behold, the first quarter of the year already witnessed a drop in deliveries, although Tesla did grapple with increased supply chain costs and delays due to the Red Sea conflict and a sabotage of their Giga Berlin factory, which were both out of their control. There was also the ramp-up of the new Model 3 at Fremont, which is a short-term speed bump that will pay off in the long term as it greatly increases the quality of their product offering. They also transitioned rather quickly to this new Model 3, which has 50% different parts from the previous version. If you consider that Model 3 and Model Y share about 75% of their parts, then this new Model 3, which is 50% different, is basically a completely new type of car. I also don't see any competitors being able to upgrade half of their cars and propagate the changes throughout their factories as fast as Tesla, which does have an advantage of having few but high production factories. Now in Tesla's Q4 2023 earnings slide deck, which was 2 quarters ago, they did something rather surprising by releasing this chart showing the average cost per vehicle at the company. Surprising given as it could be advantageous to competitors to see the real numbers, since they're slightly obscured in Tesla's financial statements. Nonetheless, these costs have been in steady decline, a major positive for the company. Now in Q1 of this year, I've calculated that the price per vehicle has remained roughly the same as Q4, but the costs went up by just a few $100s. This is a little shocking, and there may be other larger factors at play here, but one would expect cost per vehicle to go up significantly given that Tesla sold about 100,000 fewer vehicles in the first quarter than in the prior quarter. When volumes drop, the fixed cost for the factory, the workers, etc. gets spread out across fewer vehicles, meaning you should see costs go up, all else being equal. The costs did indeed go up, but still remain far below any of the other prior quarters going all the way back to 2021. So it looks like there's been some cost cutting buried within these numbers, such that if volumes go back to where they were, it's likely that the costs will see another meaningful decline. Furthermore, Tesla dropped Model Y prices by about $1,000 near the beginning of the year, and yet the average selling price barely moved, and this is their highest volume vehicle. And just as an aside, the prices of Model 3 and Model Y, despite all of the price drops over the past year that we've been hearing about, has gotten us back to roughly where these vehicles were selling in 2021 before all of the price increases. The real reason for the stable average selling prices, as well as the increase in costs, is likely due to the Cybertruck, which is a high-price, high-cost vehicle that's being added into the mix. Actually, Tesla even states that excluding the Cybertruck, as well as unscheduled downtime, costs of goods sold actually went down again. And they don't seem to be stopping there, as they're continuing their cost grind to take as many dollars out of the Cybertruck as possible. That said, as the Cybertruck continues to ramp up, and they're now doing about 1,000 Cybertrucks per week, it will skew all of the numbers. Now I actually really like what Tesla's lineup is panning out to be. They have a brand new Model 3 at all of their respective factories. The Cybertruck is going after the pickup truck space. They're also bringing the Quicksilver color for the Model Y to the US for another $2,000 to upsell and push towards raising their average selling price. Neutral colors like silver is also a generally popular color and also a personal favorite as it doesn't show dirt that well as it tends to blend in. Tesla is also increasing the range on its rear-wheel drive models. The rear-wheel drive Model Y is now long range and has more range than the all-wheel drive variant, also at a higher price. Existing vehicles can also unlock the extra range for a fee. Another thing to notice is that the results of Tesla's price cuts have also been devastating for the rest of the industry, causing legacy players to have to slash prices on their already unprofitable EVs and to pull back on electric vehicle projects. This could further reduce competition in Tesla's future, perhaps when times are good again or interest rates eventually come down. The mainstream media, however, doesn't seem to acknowledge this and instead has pivoted to talk about how gas cars are making a comeback, how plug-in hybrids are suddenly becoming a great stepping stone to EVs. This makes little sense as EVs outsell plug-in hybrids. However, these are the only types of vehicles where legacy auto has a chance. They're taking a step back away from EVs to gas cars and hybrids, which will allow Tesla the opportunity to grab a larger share of the EV space. I think it's going to be even more difficult now to quote-unquote catch up to Tesla later. Tesla is implementing an Amazon-style strategy where Amazon is well known for entering new markets with low-cost offerings, driving competitors out of business, and then dominating the space. If you isolate the EV businesses of all of Tesla's competitors in the EV space, you'll see that's exactly what's happening. In my last video, I highlighted how Ford was losing 13 times its revenue on every car sold. Now, Elon Musk doesn't intentionally want to drive away other auto manufacturers. Tesla, not long ago, even sent an instruction manual to their competitors to help them design 48-volt systems. That's not something you do if you want to destroy your competition. You don't try to help them. But Tesla will drop price on its own cars if needed in order to keep their factories running at their desired capacity, even if that means destroying competitors. Now, something changed in 2023, however, and it's getting even more pronounced today in 2024, which presents Tesla with a fresh opportunity to wield legacy auto's own secret weapon against them. Elon Musk has alluded to the fact that even if, for instance, Ford's sales went to zero and they sold no more vehicles, they would still do okay because of their entrenched user base to which they sell parts and service. Elon has said this makes it extremely hard to compete against legacy automakers, since any startup doesn't have this user base, which essentially contributes to the company's profits, allowing them to sell the actual vehicles at a lower price, given their higher lifetime value. This is the secret weapon of legacy auto. But now Tesla appears to be entering this same position with its fleet of roughly 6 million cars, plus the current run rate adding 2 million cars per year. As previous CFO Zach Kirkhorn said before he left the company, that the vehicle business will in a sense be supplemented by other parts of Tesla's business, hence the price cuts in auto. And we've seen energy, the next largest segment, do extremely well. But now for the first time, Tesla's meaningfully sized and rapidly growing fleet will begin to do some of the heavy lifting. Last quarter, Tesla stated, "The services and other business continued to grow alongside our fleet in 2023, achieving record revenue and gross profit generation. The biggest drivers of profit generation in 2023 were part sales, used vehicle sales, merchandise sales, and pay-per-use supercharging. As our fleet continues to expand in the coming years, there's an opportunity for fleet-related services to become a more meaningful driver of profit generation." And then, in the first quarter of this year, used vehicle sales turned around to the negative side of things, yet services and other still grew 25% to a new record. And this, intriguingly, is led by growth in part sales. As Tesla's fleet grows and ages, their services are used more frequently and cars fall out of warranty. It's also just recently that there's been an insane pop in services and other, which grew 150% in 2023 and has become profitable. A stark contrast to 2021, which wasn't too long ago, when it was losing money hand over fist. Supercharging also falls into this category, which will grow alongside Tesla's own fleet, plus some of the other non-Tesla vehicles that have joined in on the NACS standard and can use Tesla stations, bringing in more recurring revenue for the company. Last year, services and other made about $500 million in gross profits. While this is still a small drop in Tesla's overall gross profit bucket, it's all incremental, and Tesla appears to already be weaponizing this against the other automakers, drowning them in price cuts on their vehicle side. But the real secret weapon here is Tesla's large and growing fleet of vehicles, which is creating the opportunity for these massive adjacent businesses. There's a very powerful compounding effect that comes with this. Even with no growth in vehicles, the services and other business, such as parts, charging, software, sales, etc., still continue to grow because the fleet continues to expand and Tesla can sell into that existing user base. Imagine as well how the compounding can lead to explosive growth if vehicle sales begin to show rapid growth again with the upcoming new vehicle models, and essentially start compounding as well. It's very much like Apple's business model, where they sell software into their large user base, which is now a hundreds of billions of dollars business on its own, and remains highly profitable and grows even if iPhone sales don't do very much. So in a sense, Tesla is taking the traditional automotive business model of selling parts, which is an extremely profitable venture, and is now applying that to their fleet for the first time in a meaningful way. Then they're weaponizing it back on the automakers by using the profits to effectively subsidize their hardware, or essentially their vehicles, which has pushed competitors out of the market, caused them to have to cut price, and sell vehicles at even larger losses. This allows Tesla to grab more market share. Again, an Amazon-style way of thinking. But even better, they're supercharging their fleet by layering on supercharging and software sales and other services, for example FSD and Tesla's robotaxi network in the future, which are high-margin recurring revenue businesses that are still small and in some cases non-existent today. But as their fleet continues to grow, especially if it accelerates with the launch of Tesla's upcoming new models and cheaper vehicles, it will become a powerhouse for the company in a similar fashion to how Apple monetizes its existing user base. And just like how legacy automakers have been quietly leveraging their fleets and raising the barriers to entry against any new automotive players or startups coming into their space, making it virtually impossible to compete with them, the tables have now turned, and Tesla is now well positioned to weaponize its own fleet against the legacy automakers. So what do you think are the long-term consequences for traditional automakers who have pulled back on their electric vehicle businesses due to the impact of Tesla's price cuts? And what parallels do you see between Tesla's strategy of leveraging its fleet with Apple's successful business model of monetizing its user base, as well as Amazon's model of taking market share? Don't forget to watch my last video on Ford getting crushed by Tesla's price cuts. Have a look at our website, themarketisopen.com, where we have instant stock quotes and quarterly financial data going back up to 15 years, and it's all freely available. Please hit the like button and subscribe. We would really appreciate that. And a huge shout out to all of our patrons that help to support our channel. Your support helps us to continue to make great content. Thank you guys so much for watching.